Put the kids to bed. The dads are home. We are the DWO podcast representing the Dad World Order. I am the one, the only, Mr. Magnificent himself, Mike Martin. With me, as always, my esteemed colleagues, Brando. Hello, Brando. As
What's
Tony
going
Storm
on,
would so
Mr.
call you.
Magnificent?
Doing all right. And, as always, Mr. Big Rig, Eric Rig Murphy.
What up? What up?
How art thou?
We're doing all right. We're doing all right.
So, hey, guys, we are doing something a little special. We have guests, and we're going to find out just what these particular fellas have been up to. There is, shall we say, a long-standing feud between their type and our type. So we're going to bring them on here and, see what they got and see what they're all about. So I introduce to you the one, the only tag team champions, Stepdads. Wade Kruger and Radley Belmont. Welcome, fellas.
And, I just wanted you guys to feel at home and know that I support you guys.
Fiona.
I love
By the way, we prefer to be called the Fatherweight Champions.
Yeah.
Fatherweight?
My personal favorite is the Mother Takers.
And Mother Takers. We are the parental guardians of the galaxy.
And if we don't stop now, this will be the whole podcast. So I'm going to just...
Okay. No,
we can go on and on. I have an entire list on my phone.
Pretty sure that's going to be majority of this is us just making puns and dad jokes and
I was going to call you guys the faux pas, but
Oh, wow. Already throwing shots. We just got here. I didn't even say a single bad thing about Skyline Chili yet, and you're already giving us
that all you want. That's disgusting.
Hey, good old Jim Ross loves Skyline Chili. You can't say anything bad about it.
Apparently MJF likes it. Your boy commented on Twitter, said he took all comments back.
Yeah, he said it's not mid. He said it's great.
It's not mid.
No, it's just
they blow their mind if they ever hit Dixie Chili. That's where it's at. Skyline's good, but Dixie's like just a little bit more homemade.
Whatever you're eating, just grab yourself an Ale 8 and you're good. That's all.
Yes.
You're right. Grab your late one. You're all right.
Well, guys, can you tell us a little bit about yourselves? Where you been, what you done, what you're gonna do?
Okay, so we met in prison.
Well, let's not get into the juicy stuff yet.
Oh, sorry. I'll skip that.
As most stepdads do.
Yeah.
I think we should do the traditional thing and introduce ourselves first. I am the Rad Dad, Radley Belmont. If you can't tell, I'm the fun stepdad.
Yeah, and I'm Poppa Bear Wade Kruger, and I'm not the fun stepdad.
No, but he does have a fishing shirt on. That's very fun.
Fishing is not fun. Have you ever been out fishing with someone who takes it very seriously? It is the least fun thing you could possibly do.
What are you talking?
This is why I go fishing by myself.
You're scaring off the fish.
Disappoint anybody.
You're gonna be swimming with them if you don't stop.
It's a dad thing. It's a dad thing to take it serious.
Yeah, like bowling.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, I take it very serious. Absolutely.
If you roll in there and you don't have your own bag and your own shirt or your own wrist guard, you're not being
Get
serious.
out.
Oh yeah. If you have to rent shoes, I think they just come out and shoot you in the face.
Right. Like, why are you there?
Just like, what do you walked into the wrong place, buddy, and they just take you out.
I think the amateur league's down that way, boys. These are the bumpers are down there.
But yeah, we're the Stepdads. I'm from Central New Jersey, born and raised. This other guy is from all over the place.
Yeah, we have an interesting story because we're from two different coasts meeting. We have two different styles of wrestling, but we have the same terrible sense of humor, and that connects us as the Stepdads.
And we live in the same house.
And we live in the same house. He's above me right now. I can hear him.
Really?
And
yeah, it's on like a delay, but I can hear him.
There is a delay, absolutely. But
how many bathrooms in that house?
Just one.
Just one.
It's a 100-year-old house.
Is it the same wife or no?
So that's the funny thing. We have had a stepson before, accompany us to the ring, and our official story that we came up with together, just to get it straight, to make sure we weren't saying anything out of pocket, was that we met his mom at the same time, and it started out as that type of tag team, and then we figured, this was fun. Why don't we take this tag team show on the road?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Are we talking like
the
legit
rest is
normal
history.
tag where you got a tag in, or this tornado tag?
Oh, tornado!
I mean, it looked like a tornado when we were done. I'll tell you that.
Hey now.
You ain't holding no tag rope on this one.
This is Australian rules. It's out back.
Yeah,
That's right.
I hated that.
Yes, there we go.
So that's our official story, and we're sticking to it. But
That's a good one.
But
I love it.
originally, we legitimately met through backyard wrestling back in the day.
Wow.
We used to post on the same backyard wrestling message board.
Hey, remember
We would all
those?
Message boards.
We would all post our clips, and everybody would like share their stuff. Like guys who were on this message board are like wrestling in New Japan now.
Mhm.
So like
Really?
Will Ospreay used to post on this board.
Right.
Mhm.
Wow.
Alex Zane used to post on this board. Like
Yeah.
local guy to you guys, by the way, Kentucky boy.
Mhm.
Yep.
Love me, Zane.
So yeah, we would all post on there, and then I was going out to Vegas where Rad lived, and nobody had ever met him, but he was such a presence on the message board that I was like, I'll hang out with him while I'm out there. Why not?
I was kind of a big deal.
Yeah. So we hung out. We ended up filming like 6 months of vignettes that we ended up airing of us
Wow.
hosting a weekly recap of backyard wrestling, and then slowly getting more and more angry with each other. And then
That's amazing.
He flew out to PA, and we had a match at a big show, a big backyard show in PA, where we paid off like 6 months of the feuding and had a whole big match. And pretty much we're friends right away. And then it just kind of snowballed from there.
I mean, to be fair, that backyard show. To be fair, that backyard show probably had more people in attendance than some indie shows.
Yo, it definitely did.
So I'll say that much.
The funny part is that story is way weirder than the tag team story I just told you.
Yeah.
So that's what I think is
The
really funny
tag team
about that.
story is more believable.
Yeah,
Stranger than
I know.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
Well, yeah,
Oh.
I grew up in Las Vegas. I was born in California. Grew up pretty much on WCW. I'm a WCW mark for life. I picked the wrong side in every choice of my life. Like I picked Sega over Nintendo. I picked WCW over WWF. Saturday Morning Cartoons. I was a Fox Kids guy over Kids WB. Like I
Probably
took
like
all the
Miracle
wrong.
Whip.
Yeah,
all the
you
wrong-
picked Mr.
Sonic over Mario, obviously.
Mr.
You're
Pibb
taking
over
the-
Dr. Pepper.
You're
That's
taking it. You're assuming the responsibility when you really don't have to for the children. Stepdad,
Exactly, exactly.
I get it.
Meanwhile, like I grew up watching a little bit of both WCW and WWF. I would kind of go back and forth. And then I got out of wrestling for like several years until high school. So like I was out of it from like 01, 02 until like 06, 07 when I got back into it. Because I had friends at high school who we would all hang out and watch it on Sundays and then carpool to school on Mondays.
Right.
So
Oh wow.
I got back into it then, and I got really big into like the ROH scene at the time, and like Chikara and Pro Wrestling Noah and like the Japanese stuff that is like my wheelhouse. So like we have very different views because he's very much like an old school like Rock and Roll Express Arn Anderson guy, and
Southern
I'm
style
like
tag FTR for
Yeah.
life.
and I'm like a Kenta like Marufuji guy. Like
So Rad is the Dax Harwood of this tag team.
Oh, 1000%.
Just doesn't have the mustache and kind of has some hair.
and then I'll come in and just kill everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Gotta love
I
it.
pretty much grew my hair out to look like Michael Hayes, if that helps.
Absolutely, yes, definitely. Just
And
freebirding it all
it's
over the ring.
It's fun because it creates a fun dynamic because we have both very different inspirations and very different styles.
Right.
So like it helps us put matches together because we both see the structure of it from very different perspectives. I don't watch much wrestling at all anymore. Like I watch some older stuff to get inspiration, but I barely watch these days unless someone I know is in it or something like that. but like I get inspiration from like watching sitcoms and coming up with like learning comedy to fit it the right way into a match where the punchline hits and doesn't
Right.
fall flat.
Watching you guys I watched a highlight reel earlier today, and just watching you guys, all these different variations of you guys spanking people's asses
Oh yeah.
is just fantastic. I mean,
Well, one
That's
of
a
our biggest,
trademark.
like there's so many people who are like, oh, I hate comedy and wrestling, and I think that what they mean is they just hate bad comedy and wrestling
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
the comedy I don't like is the stuff that doesn't feel like it could be used in a real match.
Mhm.
Like people who get on Orange Cassidy, they're wrong because like he's using it as a mind game. It's not
Mhm.
Yeah.
not serious.
Yeah.
So like if you look at it, you can make most stuff fit as long as it's still wrestling. As long as you're not making your opponent look stupid by doing what they're doing, you can push it to a certain extent where
Right,
like
yeah.
it still is wrestling. It's like turning something on its head is that type of comedy. Like taking something that's expected and flipping it. That's the type of stuff I love.
Exactly. When we spank
And
people,
that's-
we don't spank them to beat them. It's just a posterior palm strike to confuse them.
Yeah.
Posterior bomb strike.
And then
Now,
And then once they start doing some underhanded stuff or fighting back, and we're like the fun and games are over, and then it's serious, and then we
Yeah.
beat them up.
Mm-hmm.
and I did notice though that the posterior palm slap seemed to backfire when going up
Yes.
against one Sunny Kiss.
Well,
Yes.
yeah, that was
Buns of steel.
Oh,
that was very early on in our career. That was maybe a year in, and I hadn't really learned. You got
With your
to
callus
sometimes
up.
you got to stumble
You guys
before
don't have
you
calluses. You're the step
before you reach the top of the mountain.
yeah.
Right.
You guys don't
right.
have
I believe
And,
that
that was
That was
very
our third
short-sighted.
Stepdads match.
Yeah,
Wow,
really?
Yeah.
that's
Wow.
awesome.
it was a very short-sighted move. You heard my scream. You know how it felt. I overacted the hell out of it. It was a fun time.
No,
Yeah,
I love
that's
it.
awesome. Well, it's funny for me because I keep seeing people like over the past week. I guess I don't know how big of a trend it's becoming, but I'm seeing a lot of different like wrestlers doing like the Sunny Kiss pose and tagging her. Like they'll do it in a mirror and tag her. So
Oh,
like
yeah.
after I saw that and now I saw that, it just makes me laugh because that's
The funny thing about
That's
we go way back with Sonny.
I
Oh,
used
really?
to be
Okay.
tag team partners with Sonny years
Oh.
before AEW. Yeah.
okay.
Which is why
Okay.
I knew not to spank Sonny, but my partner did not.
Yeah,
Should've-
stubbornness of being a dad. You
Yeah.
just
But yeah,
think you know
I
better.
can add
Stepdad.
twerking in a ring with Sonny Kiss as one of my accomplishments. in pro
Hang your hat on that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
I twerked with Sonny.
I'll tell you what, she carries the show a lot of times on when if you tune into Dark, her match is usually one of the
Absolutely.
better ones. She's a hell
Sonny
of a
is-
worker.
Incredibly talented, and
Yeah.
I'm glad is finally starting to get a bit more of that recognition.
Right.
Mhm.
Because Sonny deserves it 100%.
Yeah. I mean, they're trying to do something with what is it, the Trust Busters right
Mhm.
now?
Yep.
So yeah, maybe something comes of that. That'd be cool. But yeah, so I guess how long have you guys been a tag team?
About 6 years, right? I think we
Yeah.
just hit 6 years.
It's November 19th, 2016.
So,
Wow.
yeah,
We debuted. Yeah, we debuted for Warriors of Wrestling in Staten Island. It was an internet
And-
taping.
yeah.
And,
My official debut was a month before as a singles wrestler, so I
Yeah.
just hit my exact 6 years.
And there
Okay.
you go.
Wow. So you've almost been a tag team wrestler your entire wrestling career then.
Mm-hmm. I realized pretty early on that I enjoyed it more.
Yeah.
It's a
I
fun
love tag team
style.
wrestling.
There's way more options on how to do stuff.
Yeah, that's
Um,
what I was about to ask. Like, how do you tell that? How do you tell what's better for you is either like single or tag?
It's just kind of trial and error. Like, what do you feel? Like, what do you enjoy doing? Even as a singles guy, I really enjoyed more of like the multi-man matches, like a four-way or a triple threat or a six-man, because you can kind of get in, do your big stuff, and then like go off to the side. And you could be really creative because there's so many more bodies in the ring.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Like a match with more people should be more creative than a singles match every time.
Right.
Yes.
I think you're seeing that though with the trios, in AEW. Some of the moves they're able to do now, teams that are actually been together and not some Frankenstein mishmash 6-man BS stuff that they do. But you know, the
Absolutely.
trios, you know, some of the moves like that one, the best friends in Orange Cassidy, where he like they hold the guy up and he jumps up and stomps on him. It's
Oh,
all
yeah.
big.
And
Yeah, just like you said,
yeah.
though, just add more people, add more possibilities of different maneuvers you can.
And Orange has literally been doing that move for over a decade in other trios, so that I'm not surprised
Really?
that he excels in tag team matches because that's pretty much what he was trained on.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
And it's a lot of fun to do that style too, because like you can like there's so many ways to get into and out of everything you do that you could take something that is like your signature move that you do all the time and not do it the same way for like 3 months straight and just keep getting into it different ways. You could have these really fun like car crash sections of a match where everybody's getting killed because there's more bodies. Like you can't. It's just it's freeing, and if you have a memory for it, it can be really intricate and really fun.
One of the times I noticed that actually was the AEW Forbidden Door pay-per-view when they did the 4-way for the All Atlantic title. And it was like there was a moment in that match where like all of them like hit their finishers like back to back to back to back. And it was like it you know, it's cool to watch.
Yeah.
But it, you know, you kind of protect it because it's not like, oh, well, he kicked out of that finisher. Well, now nobody's kicking out because everybody's down because everybody just destroyed each other.
Right.
And
when we're planning a match, we call that a waterfall.
Okay.
It's just like everybody in a row hits something big, and usually the last guy is hit by the first guy who took something, and it gives you a nice chance for everybody to breathe for a second, and then it's like a hard stop to like reset the match. It's a nice little. It's a nice little sequence. It's a fun thing to do. I enjoy putting them in matches when we can.
Yeah,
I definitely enjoy that. Go ahead, Mike.
How much do you guys have to work on cardio? I know that's got to be a huge part of.
So that is one of the nice things about tag wrestling. It is a little like you do get to split the match a little bit more, but it's still
Makes
like
sense.
you got to know how to pace yourself. You got to know what you can do and work to that.
The only way you're really going to have in-ring cardio is to wrestle a lot. And they say that on TV all the time, but it's literally true. Like you could jog every day, all day. You can work out in the gym every day. But like the only time I feel good in the ring is when I've wrestled every week. And then I feel
Kinda get
great. And I can
callous
wrestle
to
30
that.
minutes or whatever. So that's a real thing. I don't know if that's a mind over matter thing or what, but it's definitely a real thing.
The thing that's interesting with wrestling too. Sorry, Red. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
It's like you can't you could have the best cardio in the world, but there's so many other things that go into it too. Is like you got to have the memory, you got to have the ability to structure a match. Like there's guys I've seen who have the best cardio I've ever seen, but they don't have like the creativity or the character or like there's a lot you have to be successful on the top level, straight up.
Yeah. You can see people that have to think about. You can see what they're thinking about the next move instead of just instinctively doing the next move.
It can be really tough.
That.
We've hit a point where I think we get on autopilot at points in matches where like in the back we'll be going over the match and going over the match and going over the match, and then we walk through the curtain and it's all just like there, and then in the ring it's like we know what's coming next, and it's just about like how would I react as my character in this situation, and that's all I'm thinking about is not like the next thing, but like the actual like being in the moment.
And we've had matches where we really only knew maybe the beginning and maybe the end. Not to drop names, but we wrestled the Rock and Roll Express last year.
I saw that.
And when we did that, you're wrestling two legends who know exactly what they're doing. They know what they're capable of. They had an inkling of what we're capable of. They knew what we were. Very character. I don't like to say we're comedy based because that's such a niche. We're very character heavy. And when they understood that, they were all for it and they wanted to work the characters with us. Most of that match, there's no plan. There was nothing there. It was just going with the flow of a match. And if you have that kind of experience of knowing exactly how a match works, how to get through it, to not look like a deer in the headlights where you don't know what you're doing, you can really have something amazing that's really feeding off the crowd in a way that you couldn't if you were like Macho Man in the 80s planning every single spot exactly as it is.
Right.
So it's two different styles, and that's very much the Southern style as well. So it's two different styles, and it's different in storytelling, which is my favorite part of tag team wrestling is that there's so much opportunity to tell stories between four people. Everyone's finisher could be protected. Someone might have to kick out the last minute with the drama of the partner being held. You've seen the Young Bucks do it a million times where they hold the guy and then they fall and break up the pin, and it's really cool every time you see it, even though they do it every friggin' match. But
it's coming.
It's still awesome. The drama of a lot of the times, I mean, really all the time right now, we're faces. And so when we debut at a new place to get beat up in the middle of the ring over and over again, I'm reaching out to the crowd like Ricky Morton used to do in the 80s, and they just love us, even though they literally had no idea who we were 5 minutes ago.
Right.
And next thing you know, they're buying our T-shirts at the intermission, Like that kind of storytelling is so priceless to us compared to if we were just a rookie or a new guy coming in and we're in a 6-way where we get we hit a cool cutter. Okay, everyone hits a cool cutter. Like we're telling a story. And we're able to show our characters at the beginning, which is not only good for cardio, but also really helps get us over, if you want to put it that way.
And that stuff too, like a story doesn't have to be complicated. It could just be like a simple thing in a match that becomes a through line. Like it could be like early in the match, I keep going for my big punch and the guy keeps avoiding it. And then later to end that big waterfall spot, I come back in and just level that guy with the punch and then everybody's down. And it could be
everybody
like,
goes nuts. He finally hit it.
Yeah. Like it doesn't have to be complicated. It could be a very simple story you're trying to tell. And then you hit it and maybe the guy kicks out at 2.5 and everyone's like, oh shit, he finally hit it, but he didn't beat him. What's he going to do now? Like it doesn't have to be, so many people overcomplicate it. It doesn't have to be complicated. It could just be paying off a thing you do early in the match.
Well, that's like one of the reasons I'm a huge FTR fan is like almost every one of their matches. They don't have to be super flashy, but they make you feel something. I mean, like when they, faced the Briscoes and they were both in a submission, holding each other's hands so they wouldn't tap out. They just faced Aussie Open at what was that, Royal Quest 2?
Yep.
And Aussie Open ended up doing that. They had them in double sharpshooters and they were holding it, and just like stuff like that. Like as a fan, I'm like, man, that's so cool. So that's the wrestling that I really appreciate is definitely like a story driven.
Yeah, the best part about that stuff is like it doesn't have to be shoved in the audience's face. Nope. If they don't notice it, it's not going to make or break the match for them. But the fans who do pick up on it, it adds like an extra level of like, it's like noticing Easter eggs in a Marvel movie. Yes. It's like you're picking up extra stuff the more you watch, and you're like, oh man, the last time they wrestled these guys, they reversed that, and this time they did it differently, so they got them with it. It could be as simple as that, and you reward the people who watch, but you don't take away the experience from the people who are new. It's a balance.
Callbacks are Easter eggs of
like anytime we go somewhere new, we're not going to do a bunch of reversals because they don't know what our moves are to begin with. So why are they going to be like, oh man, they reversed their big move? They don't even know what that is.
What your big move? Yeah.
Speaking of which, our big move is the Father's Day device. It's a Doomsday device, but instead of the guy flipping, I actually hug him on the way down, which is what a real father would do, Yeah. So I hug him on the way down. He lands.
We know.
And,
I like how you said that's our finisher. Like we don't have like 4.
Oh, we have many finishers.
That comes from my Japanese influence of having a billion finishers.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We have one called the Parent Trap, which is a Daniel Bryan flying knee swung up into a Greetings from Asbury Park.
That's the bee's knee, by the way.
Yeah, we have the bedtime story. The bedtime story, which is a stunner German suplex.
Yes, that one's awesome.
What
was the curfew driver?
That's just my driver on its own.
That's how the Parent Trap ends, with that insane driver.
I also do the Sister Abigail, but it's called the You're Grounded.
You're grounded.
Yeah. That's another thing. So many people in wrestling are like, oh man, every move's already been done. You can take anything and make it your own just by adding a little flair to it.
Yeah.
I mean,
I do the
you got
Sting
and Bret Hart.
I do the Stepdad stunner because Stepdad's 8:16 p.m. says it's past your bedtime. And guess
Put
what?
the kids to bed.
I say that, and suddenly I get away with doing the stunner in every match. So it works.
Yeah, and instead of putting up the finger, he goes, "Oh heck yeah!" and censors.
I go, "Oh heck yeah!" Censor for the kids.
Yes, I love it.
Oh my god,
that's amazing. But yeah, I mean, like you said, you got like Sting does the Scorpion Deathlock and Bret Hart does the Sharpshooter. It's the same freaking move, but they do it.
It's just around the different leg.
when he does it, it's like, no, that's the sharpshooter. No, that's the. And like you do with the censoring it, like I love that. That's awesome.
But we are the only people that do the father figure 4. I will say that.
Yeah,
the father figure.
Father figure 4. What is that?
it's just a regular figure 4.
But it's done by me.
But
it's
done by
not
a dad.
bod. It's a father figure.
Yeah,
That's right.
Father figure.
Yes, that's awesome.
That makes me so happy. I love it.
Yeah.
everything we have is a pun. Like my punch is called the Big Poppa punch. Like it's just all puns. Even our weight is a pun. Like
Hold on. Do you like?
Yeah.
For you,
if I come into the match, if I don't do one of these where I push it up from behind,
yes,
get that, or
Oh my god!
I would just like to show you. This is our list of nicknames that we have. Okay,
Oh, it's amazing.
Holy crap.
it just goes on and on and on.
Oh, it's
some of
amazing.
them have never even been said out loud.
I just added one recently. We're simply the vest.
Simply the best.
Simply the best.
Simply the vest.
You guys should do a segment like Jericho did with all of his holds, all the suplexes.
We could.
Were they suplexes or submission holds?
We've done a New Age Outlaw style intro when we were the tag team champions, but we were the old age in-laws.
Yes.
Yeah, dad
Generation X.
the old age in-laws.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Oh,
And our two words were "you're grounded," not "suck it." And anyone who yelled "suck it" had to put 25 cents in the swear jar.
Yeah, they have a swear jar on hand.
That was one of our things we would love to do the most is like go to a place like GCW or like CZW and just come out with the swear jar and just become the biggest heels in the company.
Yes.
Yes.
And then here comes
you got to do it during like a death match. Too.
Yeah, and then here comes Schlack to just end our lives.
Yes.
We'll be their right to censor.
Oh, that'd be. So
I'm gonna have to go back and watch that Rock and Roll Express match now and let you guys call it in the ring like that.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it was pretty much all in the ring. There's even points where we're like, wrong guys are in the match at certain points for the next thing, and we just kind of went with it.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest lesson you learn in wrestling is whatever you do, don't freeze.
Yeah.
Because
Just
if you
keep going.
freeze, then you can't fix it. If you go for something, the crowd doesn't know what you were going to do originally.
Right.
Only you do, right?
Yeah. It might make you mad, but like that's being an artist.
Right.
It is what
It's
it is.
exactly like you said. As long as you don't look like you're thinking about what you're doing, you're just doing something, the crowd won't know any different.
Yeah, they don't.
Just go over and hit the guy, and then start picking him up and talk to him. You can. Yeah. That's one of the best things about tag team wrestling. You can talk to your partner.
Yeah.
Right.
Because why would I know what he's thinking at all times?
Right.
I could be
like you have to talk to your partner.
I could be like, "Hey, Radley, want to do that suplex thing?" And he could be like, "Yeah, let's do the suplex thing," and then we could just do something. Like it's the best.
We just yell, "Let's do the suplex thing," and then double clothesline them just to confuse them.
So one thing I noticed Tuesday night, we were at Dynamite and watching that trios match, which I'm sure most tag teams don't do this, but the Lucha Brothers will literally whistle at each other.
Yep.
And they know what the whistle means.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, that's insane, dude.
Well, there's a little to go a little inside baseball for like the smallest of ways. Like in the opening parts of matches, like a lot of times when guys are doing like arm ringers and wrist locks and headlocks, there's a lot of nonverbal communication going on there. Like you could have me here, boom, you squeeze my hand, I'm gonna reverse it. Like it could be as simple as that. Like you have me in a headlock, you give me like a little extra squeeze, it's time for me to go to the next thing.
Okay.
There's a lot of nonverbal stuff that goes on that like you don't even think about.
My favorite.
That's really cool. And now I'm gonna look at every single tag team match and be like, did he squeeze him extra hard?
I don't want to go too far in because then it ruins wrestling for you.
No, I won't get that too.
I watch stuff and I'm like, why did they skip that step of the match? Why did they not do that? And I can't watch it like as a fan anymore. It's a little depressing.
Yeah, when you notice
I'm an electrician by trade, so you go into a place and you see
this fantasy camp, boys.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This fantasy camp is sounding really nice for NWF.
Our local company puts on a fantasy camp, and had gone away during COVID, but we begged them to bring it back, and apparently they're getting ready to announce that it is. I have it on good authority.
Nice.
That they're bringing it back. So I said the dads want some, bring it on.
I mean,
And we already have
fun.
a standing feud with the tag team. So
Once you get to learn, like, there is a very basic structure of matches that is like 99% of matches follow, and once you see it, you can never unsee it.
Right. Yeah.
That's what I'm afraid of, though.
The one thing I heard, and I don't know if it's true, my mind's different, is that once you learn how to post, you'll never not see every wrestler constantly posting.
Which is
Like,
like,
everything.
when they're helping a guy like hit their move.
Like just a body
Gotcha.
slam, like, oh, you'll be
Yeah.
like, oh, I notice you're helping, and then you'll never not see them constantly helping each other.
Yeah, or like
Yeah.
a choke slam
It
where you see
changes
the
the,
guy
way you see a match,
grab
You
the guy's
see him
shoulder.
jump up or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
and you'll notice it forevermore after that. So
oh yeah,
So how-
I've noticed that for a while, but luckily I kind of am able to take myself out of it just enough that I can
And
still enjoy
if
it.
it's a good enough match, you will stop noticing it.
Mhm.
yeah,
Absolutely.
you'll still appreciate the story. The story is always there, no matter how jaded a wrestler you are. You will always appreciate a good story.
Yeah, it's like seeing a play, but the play is an athletic performance that you're watching.
Yeah,
Correct.
absolutely.
So when you talk about like behind the scenes stuff, kind of like that, and kind of like, behind the curtain per se, is it like being a magician to where it's like frowned upon if you like kind of reveal like
Not for
stuff
us.
like that? Or
I mean, not as much anymore because like it's
internet.
really nobody thinks it's fake anymore. So
The
like
Jim Cornettes of the world are fading.
yeah, there's if you are trying to convince somebody it's real, you're focused on the wrong thing.
Right.
Like that's not the point anymore.
It would be weird if like Henry Cavill came out and was like, "Guys, I'm Superman.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
You'd be like,
Superman."
that guy's fucking nuts.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
that's what people would give us crap, about being fans of professional wrestling.
Yeah,
And, even
all the
today
time.
still, it's fake, right? Like, yeah, you know what else is? Star Wars. There's like
Yeah.
billions of people that love that.
Go-
So
Go up to somebody who does Cirque du Soleil and be like, it's fake, right? They're
Yeah.
incredibly talented, like
Yeah.
athletic people who do these high flying stuff. It's not fake, it's performance.
No, and that's what I tell people all the time. Look, you guys can say it's fake all you want, but I want to see you do a 5-star frog splash off a 20-foot ladder and land it correctly where you don't, 1, break something, and 2, kill the guy that you jumped on.
or just take
You can
a
do
chop
that
to the
right ahead.
chest.
I can't.
The chops for me is like a chop isn't fake. That's just real.
No.
There is no
Like-
faking it.
Yeah,
To me, the
chops
stuff
suck.
that's
I'm
impressive
just
is
gonna say that.
when you super kick somebody and it looks like you killed them and you don't touch them, or when you punch somebody and it looks like you knocked them out and you never touch them at all. That's the stuff that I love, like, because that's way more impressive to me than chopping somebody really hard.
Yeah.
Anyone can do a chop.
Quick question: who best right hand ever, or just punch, realistic looking punch in wrestling ever?
Arn
Jerry
Anderson.
Lawler.
Ooh,
The Rock.
yeah, I see the Rockhead.
The Rock's very theatric, and I appreciate
Yes.
that.
I
I
do
personally
too.
punch like The Rock, so that's why I don't really do that.
I kind of punch a little bit like the Big Show, and a little bit like a friend of ours from the backyard.
Hey, there you go. Mix it up.
Inspiration.
But yeah, I always liked Arn's punches. I always thought Arn could throw a good little quick
Right.
jab in there.
So I have a question. I mean, you guys, I'm just a huge fan, so I geek out when we can actually talk to wrestlers. And by the way, thank you guys so much for doing everything you all do.
Our pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely.
What is the what if you guys had to pick a move or a stunt or something that you guys have done, like what hurts the most to you guys? Like what move or getting put through something or getting hit with something? What hurts the most?
Worst bump ever.
Yeah, bump.
I
Oh,
have an easy answer.
Wait,
for
I
this.
know yours. Absolutely, I know yours.
I
That
talk
was
about this all
during
the time.
the our street fight.
Yeah, we had a garage sale street fight.
Of course you did.
I was going to say that had to be awesome.
All the weapons were stuff you can find in your garage.
Yes. Rakes.
Nine month blow off for this.
I showed up in my street fight gear, which was my knee pads over a pair of khakis. And I believe I was wearing a tank top that said "Here to Party."
I think you did. Let me see if I can find it.
By far, the worst bump I've ever taken was a double choke slam onto an upside down laundry basket. Because it was one of those like that had like the cuts in the side where like the holes.
Yeah.
So when it cracked, the top, yeah, exactly like that. So the top cracked in, but all those like X's they all stayed, and they were all just. I turned over and it was in my back like a turtle. And then I tried to roll off of it to sell it, and the guy pushed me back down on top of it to pin me.
So this is a weapon.
Oh, it sucks. If someone breaks into your house and you slam them on top of that, they're done.
You're good.
Like it hurts so bad.
Oh yeah.
More
Forget
than
the
anything
12
else,
gauge.
I'd rather take a million German suplexes. I'd rather take a superplex. I'd rather take a pile driver. That sucked. It was so bad.
Wow.
It was that bad. It really was.
Terrible idea.
Never would have thought
I couldn't
that.
find Wade's, but here's my attempt at looking cool that night. Khaki shorts.
Yes.
Yes.
The Argyle
Vest.
sweater
I tried
vest.
real hard to look tough. Tried real hard.
Yeah, I
Uh,
imagine like as a like doing a street fight with your guys' characters.
Oh,
would just be awesome.
We've had many.
We also had a step ladder match.
Yep.
Never met my real ladder.
Yes.
Never met the real life.
It was basically just a normal match, but step ladders were legal. So we found a bunch of. There's my Here to Party shirt and my khakis.
Yes.
I also weighed about 80 pounds more there than I do now.
Yeah, say you look a little more insulated there.
I was probably
More
about.
insulated.
I think I was like 350 or 360 there, and I'm like 280 now.
Dang.
So that probably also contributed to the laundry basket sucking a lot.
Yeah.
Because fun fact about wrestling, it's planned, but gravity is real.
Right.
And
No
things
matter
don't
how
always
hard
go
you
as
try.
planned.
Yeah. Like you guys can't tell me like when I see somebody like laid out on a ladder and they jump on them and the ladder breaks or it doesn't break, it's like I don't care. I know that's planned. They know how to fall, but at the same time, that kills me. Like,
Yeah.
oh god.
Well, that was like me and Brando were at the AEW Cleveland show in January this year, the Cody Rhodes Sammy ladder match,
Nice.
and we watched that, dude, and everything about that, I'm like, that hurts. That has to hurt so epic bad.
In wrestling, when you watch it and you're like, I know it's fake, but that's real. That's the best. That's the best feeling ever.
Oh, I agree.
Mhm.
Oh,
But
yeah.
still, I'm just like,
Oh yeah.
oh.
But the
Like
the
you
step
said,
ladder
with
match, a lot of fun. Like I did the my favorite thing in the whole match that we did was they were beating up my partner. I come back in, and to go take out both of them, I picked up the step ladder and put it on my head like Terry Funk, and started to spin around. A thing I do in every ladder match I've ever been in. But as I'm starting to spin, I'm realizing I'm not hitting anybody because it's a step ladder.
They're just staring at him, watching.
So they're just standing there like, what the hell is this guy doing?
Tiny.
And then I stopped.
And so the
And I
crowd
was like-
laughs, obviously.
Yeah, everyone laughed. I stopped and I was like, man, that usually works. And then one of them tried to run towards me and I sabooed the whole ladder into his face.
Just destroyed him with it. Right in his face. It was awesome.
And that those type of spots are the scariest spots to me because you have to commit for like a full minute to 90 seconds to a thing you're going to do and hope that at the end the reaction is there.
Right.
It's like setting up a joke and then like you tell a story
Crickets.
for 5 minutes and then no one laughs at the end. It's the worst. You just got to commit and hope for the best.
That's amazing.
All right, so I'll give mine because I've been through a lot of painful random stuff, but I think the one that sticks out the most to me is a clip we actually posted recently, and it's hard to explain, but it's essentially a triple. There's 3 tag teams in the ring.
Oh, yeah.
You already know. I'm I'm at the end and somebody's trying to suplex me. And that's it. He's just trying to suplex me into the corner turnbuckle, and I won't let him do it. Everyone else, almost like they're all trying to Stone Cold Stunner each other. They all kick each other in the guts. They all bend over at the same time. When that happens, a member of the Ugly Ducklings, Rob Killjoy, springboards to the top rope and then runs across all 4 guys and then flips over us trying to do the suplex. So he sunset flips over me, over the guy that has me. And then I get suplexed into the corner and my lower back just eats the turnbuckle as fast as human. It was like a buckle bomb right into the bottom turnbuckle. And I had to wear a back brace for like 2 months. Absolutely sucked. But boy, those clips were amazing. Let me tell you.
I was gonna say, don't like in
think
my
I've seen
head.
that.
It sounds like it was like a
It sounded like
assisted
momentum.
slingshot suplex or something.
Yes, pretty much. Yeah. It's
He was
insane.
basically like lily padding across everybody's back.
Yeah. And then did like a mini, like you said, sunset
Yeah.
flip.
Jim Cornette would have hated it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. We tried to
He's
have
such
it
an
make
angry
sense.
man.
It made no sense. It just looked really cool.
Hey,
we made it make as much
sometimes
sense
that's
as
all
we
you
could.
need, man.
It made enough sense. It made enough sense that crowd loved it.
It was well worth the hot dog and a handshake that day.
That's right.
Absolutely.
So Wade, you said you're a big Japanese wrestling fan. What from there do you like to incorporate the most from like your fandom, I guess, of that?
So I think the biggest thing I incorporate from there is actually like their storytelling style and their structure.
Okay.
I love the King's Road style, which is very much that every match you have with a certain opponent always builds off of the last one.
Mm-hmm.
Even like I love that idea that like the first time you wrestle, maybe you beat the guy with like your signature move, and then the next time he has it scouted, so you got to go bigger, and then maybe the next time it takes 2 of those, and then maybe the next time after that, like it never resets. You always have that backstory. Like that's a big issue I have with like TV wrestling is like they forget that guys wrestled each other. They just ignore it, and I don't like that because you should know this guy better. You had a feud with him for like a year, 3 years ago, and now you're acting like you're back at square one. I also love everything in those matches is earned. You never just grab a guy and hit a suplex. You got to like earn that suplex. You go for it, he blocks it. You hit him in the back, he takes off the ropes, he comes back, you hit him in the knee, then you get the suplex. It adds an extra layer to it that I love because it feels more like a fight rather than just like you grab me and hit a move, I grab you and hit a move. Like it adds so much to it.
Feels more organic that way too.
Yeah. And is it more complicated? Yes, but you're filling more time with less work and telling a better story at the same time. It looks bad when you're in a 10-minute match just doing a bunch of moves. Then you look weak. Yeah. You hit everything you have and the guy's still getting up 5 minutes later. You look like shit.
You're right.
Yeah.
I asked that.
To get a suplex. That suplex looks amazing.
I asked that because I'm a big Eddie Kingston mark, and obviously he's loves his all
me and Eddie go way back.
I was gonna say he cut that promo on Cody in a backyard. Did you guys ever meet?
I met Eddie Kingston when he used to work the indies here in Jersey because I used to do ringside photography for a company out here in the late 2000s for Jersey All Pro Wrestling. So like a lot of guys came through there that are like all over the place now, like Kingston and Luke Harper and Homicide and Low Key and Jay Lethal and all those guys were local out here. So like,
oh wow,
I worked with a lot of them. I did Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega's Wikipedia photos used to be my photos that I took of him.
Really?
Oh,
that's awesome.
Me and Kenny Omega used to talk about Street Fighter on MySpace. That's how long ago this goes back.
Oh, that's amazing.
Small
I
world.
think I still have a MySpace page.
Yeah,
somewhere.
So yeah, like I have, and I'm not gonna say like, oh, I'm best friends with these guys, but like, I know, like, I had moments with them where like I got to pick their brain a little bit before I was wrestling.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I never thought I would wrestle at that point.
It's like we get to say about you guys now.
Yeah.
I was about to say. So when did you guys start? Like, I mean, you guys said you've been a tag team for 6 years. Like, what's a good age to start, or is there any?
It's whenever you're ready. There is an emotional maturity level you need, because there is, like I said, there's a lot you got to balance. You got to balance your life, your life outside of wrestling. You got to have the money to do it. You got to have the brain to do it. You got to have the creativity to do it. It's like there's a lot to it that you got to kind of hit a maturity level, and some hit it earlier than others.
I'll give you two great examples, just to throw names out there. There's a kid that just turned 21, I think yesterday or 2 days ago, named Flash Carter. So he's already just 21. He's already been wrestling for 2 years, maybe even 3 years at this point. High flyer, great wrestler. I think he's going to do big things someday. Then we got a wrestler named Bobby C. Bobby C used to be a New York City police cop. I don't know why I said police and cop, but he was a part of the NYPD. Retires at 50, becomes a pro wrestler. Now he's 55, also a great storyteller, great wrestler. He's older, so he doesn't do Canadian destroyers and things, but he's also a Southern style, old school character wrestler, so it doesn't matter.
So
and
you're
both
saying
of
there's
them are
hope for
very
this
happy
old
with where
man.
they are right now.
Yeah.
They're very happy with their skill set.
You
So it
guys can
depends on
already
when
see
you're
my wheels
ready.
are turning.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
there's no bad time to start as long as you feel comfortable doing so.
we
Well,
both
I think
started
I'm
at
more about
28
vision.
professionally.
Yeah,
You guys obviously have to have good vision. I'm assuming, correct?
I wear contacts to wrestle, so
Well,
Brando, I'm telling you right now, I guarantee you could get the fact that you have the Coke bottle of glasses, you could get that over somehow. You could turn that into some kind of spot in a match. I don't know how, but I'm sure you could.
we had a match once where a guy was wearing glasses during the match. Wade here gives him like a splash in the corner, and when he splashes him, walks away, the guy obviously takes his glasses off and throws them away. And then when we turn around, he goes, "I lost my glasses. Help me find my glasses." And his partner comes in and is like, "Stop. We got to find his glasses. They just fell off."
so we start crawling around looking for his glasses, and they both run in and curb stomp us.
And then he looks at the crowd and goes, "I'm wearing contacts," and everybody does
Yes.
Yeah.
Was it Danny Adams?
No, it was,
it was not.
It was a guy. What the heck is his name? Why can't I think of his name?
Evers, right?
Oh yeah, AJ Evers.
AJ Evers.
AJ Evers.
That's awesome.
That was in the same match where, if you've seen the clip we posted of us doing the choke slam with the thermostat, it's from that match.
Yes.
The joke slam with the yes.
Dude, I'm gonna binge watch your guys' YouTube.
Oh,
later.
yeah.
I cannot wait.
I did see
I
the
watched
thermostat
some, but man,
spot.
you guys
That
got a
was
lot
awesome.
of content. A lot.
We go out of our way to get everything we've ever been in. We try, because sometimes it's hard to hunt down footage.
Right.
I would say we have over 90% of all of our footage. Like I'm really a stickler about getting collected footage and archiving our careers and things like that. So the Stepdads YouTube page, a lot of the Facebook page, it's not just most of our careers, it's in chronological order. You can watch a whole feud throughout a playlist. Like, we want it to be very easy for our Step fans to find our footage, because a lot of people don't have that. And then you're like, "Oh, I really like this guy, but I only found like 3 of his matches." No, all of our matches are out there. Every promo we've ever done is out there. We're going to keep uploading them. We're never going to stop, because that's the only way people are going to know who we are.
Plus, I wish everyone did that, because sometimes we go to a place and we're wrestling guys that we don't know, and we love to look them up ahead of time and see what their big things are and find cool ways to do them. But it's a lot harder to find it when you're in time crunch the day of, as opposed to if you could look at it in advance and be like, "Oh, they do this. This would be a cool way to counter that," or like they could counter our thing into that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, without that footage.
How do you guys decide like your signatures and finishers? Is it just based on your all's styles and what you guys can actually wrestle with, or is it just something like you can physically do or can't do?
It's just stuff we like to do usually.
Yeah, it's a mix of what are we good at with what's really funny.
Yeah.
Yes.
For example, when we started, for the first maybe 6 months of our career, maybe even longer as the Stepdads, at the end of every match, I would go to the top rope and yell, "Father's Day device," and then I would be cut off, and no one knew what the Father's Day device was or what was about to happen. or anything until we finally hit a doomsday device on some kid who like flipped in midair and just died taking this lariat. And we were like, that's the Father's Day device. And everyone, they went ballistic. It was great.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I love doing the curfew driver as my finisher because I could be so silly the rest of the match, but if I hit that move, you believe it's over, even if I've done nothing but spank a guy the rest of the match. It's believable that would knock him out.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean,
you always want
half
your
of my moveset's a headlock, so.
The biggest thing in wrestling is you always want to build. You never want your last thing of the match to be lesser than something you did earlier.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
You always want the exclamation point at the end. That should always be your biggest thing. So whatever you do well, the best, and like looks the best and looks the biggest, that's your finisher.
It's a lot like
There
a
you go,
movie. You have
Brandon.
your story, your first act. You tell them the story. You tell them the characters. There's the call to action, which is usually when the bad guys are beating up the good guys, and then you have your accelerating action that goes to the climax. And the climax is usually that big hot tag, and then everyone's fighting like the third act of a movie. It's the exact same format. Sorry,
And that's the thing. Like, I know what a hot tag is, but I've seen it in a million tag team matches, but I will pop every time for a really well-built hot tag.
Yeah.
Every time. It's always good.
That's the moment. That's the like
secret.
That's like the moment in the MCU when Cap is standing there by himself and then he hears on your left and then everybody starts to come in. That's that moment. That's that moment where you're like, oh man, we're about to get real. Like
you know that the heroes are going to win, but it's exciting because that's what you want. You know,
Like you said before, it's like even if you know something's coming, if you're telling the story correctly, it doesn't matter if you know it's coming. You're still gonna enjoy watching it if it's done right.
Yeah, like everyone watching those movies knew Thanos had to lose.
Right. Yeah.
Like, but the way it got there was awesome, so everyone loved it. You don't have to like. Not everything has to be an M. Night Shyamalan twist that you never saw coming.
Right. Yeah.
Like, you can just.
This movie series we've been building for 8 years, bad guy wins.
I mean, I would argue the entire Attitude Era is just an M. Night Shyamalan twist, but that's just me.
Yeah.
And early AEW was doing a lot of like, the fans were like, oh man, CM Punk's going to show up. And then he did. And you got excited for it because that was the moment that people wanted. You don't have to always trick them. You can give them what they want if what they want makes sense and is going to get a good reaction. You don't have to trick your fans.
I love Chris Jericho's destruction of Ring of Honor right now. I personally love it.
Oh, jeez. Here we go. So obviously, me being the Eddie Kingston mark that I am, me and Brando have a bit of a feud between us with him being such a Jericho guy.
The Ocho.
So, anyway.
Why can't we just get
we
along,
don't need
guys?
to talk about
Gentlemen,
the
we have
Ocho.
company. Again, every time we have guests, you guys get into this. It's unbelievable.
It's just like at the house. The kids are arguing. We got to separate them. Go your rooms. Play some video games, chill, relax.
Yeah,
If
this
you're
is
good,
like
you get
this
ice
is like
cream.
when
There we
when
go.
Yeah, sit in the middle, Dad.
this is like when me and the Rad Dad
Problem
here
solved.
we argue over which of us is the Genetti of the team.
Oh man.
Spoiler, it's both of us.
Hashtag 2 Genettis.
There is no shot.
Is that on the list?
Oh, yeah.
We've used that before. We've been hashtag 2 Genettis and also hashtag 2 Tom Brady's.
Yeah, because who can? Maybe you can beat one Tom Brady.
You can
but who
only
can
hope to beat one Tom
Two
Brady.
Tom Brady's?
Yeah, you're gonna beat 2
Nobody.
Tom Brady's? No one. No one on earth is beating 2 Tom Brady's.
No doubt.
I'll give you a
No
few
doubt.
more nicknames. We got the Robe Warriors.
The Robe Warriors.
FTR, Fathers Totally Rule.
Yep. How about let's see, the Spank Kings.
Yeah.
Spankings.
We exhume Big Dad energy.
Yeah.
Big dad energy.
BDE, Big Dad Energy.
The Sonic Boomers.
Yep.
It just goes on and on, guys. It really does.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Like, even our entrance weight is a joke. Like, when we're announced by an announcer, We are from Studio City, California, because we're sitcom dad.
Or Dad Street USA.
Yeah, we're weighing in at 400 and too much. Like, it is nonstop jokes from the time we get out.
No.
If the crowd laughs at that, I know we're gonna have a great match.
Yes.
Also,
Like you
we've
said,
won
you
over
have
some fans. We had a fan come up to us after a show one time, and I swear to God, he came over. I shook everyone's hand in the front row as we came out, because not high fives, handshakes.
Yep.
Got to have a firm handshake.
Right.
And
Yep.
this guy would not shake my hand. I did shake his wife's hand and stared him dead in the face as I did it, but he wouldn't shake my hand.
This is our debut there.
Oh, stepdad fashion. I like it.
Yeah. After the match, he came out to us after the show and just puts his hand out. And I was like, I don't know. And then he goes, I got to be honest. And this is word for word. When you guys came
Might
out,
need to bleep this.
I said, who are these effing clowns?
Not wrong.
And then you guys won me over, and I wanted to give you that handshake. And I was like, nice.
Nice.
Yeah. Like you said,
even-
it's not comedy; it's character driven, and when
Yeah,
just
yeah.
because you have some humor to your character doesn't mean that you can't go in the ring. And I think
Oh.
you guys have
Oh,
shown
even when we're
over and over again.
heels, when we're heels, we don't go after the crowd like an MJF or any of those guys. We go after just the kids. And I'll tell you
Yes.
why. Because if nothing makes, first of all, kids are the loudest at any show. So you want that
Yeah.
reaction.
Wow.
No, you can never make a kid angrier than if you go up to a little girl and you shake the hand of her dad and tell her, you got to listen to this guy. He's going to support you. You need to listen to if he says go to bed at 8:30, you go to bed at 8:30. Guess what? That dad is buying a Stepdad's t-shirt and that girl's going to boo for us. We win both ways.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gotta love it.
Yes.
It's true.
It's perfect. Plus,
Speaking
we
of
get to use a
Stepdad
golf
shirts,
club and do the Gold Dust Shattered Dreams with the golf club in the corner.
I have seen that too.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
been a
yeah.
while.
It's
since
I've
we've
seen
done
Mr.
that.
Kruger do that.
Oh yeah.
There's somebody in the corner. Speaking of
got quite a
Stepdad
swing.
t-shirts, were those available at? Is that a pro wrestling or pro wrestling tees?
You
Yep,
can
Pro
get them at Pro
Wrestling
Wrestling Tees. We also have them.
.com/Stepdads, yeah.
Ours are, I think, better quality than Pro Wrestling Tees. So if somebody wanted them from us, we could ship them out if someone needed a particular size.
Absolutely.
If you contact us on Facebook, we could absolutely ship them out to you too.
You guys got 4X or 5X? Maffey's pretty big, big rig.
I
I
don't want
think
to
the
hear
biggest
it.
we have is 3X right now.
Yeah, Sam.
What are you
Well, we
talking
got
about?
a lot
man?
of
Your
different
shirt
designs.
size is bigger.
That's-
I ordered.
That's our traditional logo right there.
Yeah,
Yes.
Love
that's Rad Dad as the dude and me as Walter.
Yes.
Oh,
Big Lebowski.
You're out of your
I love
element,
it.
Donnie.
And then if you remember this NES show game,
NES game.
Bad Dudes, we're Dad
Dad
Dudes.
dudes.
But we're dad dudes.
We actually
So-
have a tag team called Bad Dudes down here.
We are,
Well, we're the dad dudes.
yep.
The
And we're
Dad Dudes,
fighting
I
right
love
in
it.
front of WB headquarters, but don't tell anybody that's copyrighted.
I changed the Dark Order logo to Join the Dad Order.
Join the
There
dad
you
order.
go.
Yeah.
We have a few ideas coming up that we have a Godfather design that's stepfathers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got the marionettes with us, like
Oh
in
gosh,
suits. We have an idea that we want
you
coming
guys
up.
could go.
I'm a big video game guy. Like I
Oh,
love
yeah.
them.
Us too.
So we have an idea coming up that we just need to get designed of us as Banjo Dad Zooey. Since I am Poppa Bear, I'm Banjo, and then instead of a backpack, popping out of my fanny pack would be the Rad Dad
That's
holding our two belts
awesome.
right.
as Kazooie.
Yes.
Yes.
Please and
That's
thank
fantastic.
you. Oh, that's
some
amazing.
more names
Yeah.
for you. Dad Generation X, the leaders of the Datitude era. Throwing that one out there. Feel free to use any of these on your own podcast. I mean, this is
Yeah.
free range,
I
guys.
need you to forward me this list.
Yeah, we're stealing all these.
I
So
don't think
what's
you have
the
enough
farthest
time
you
in the
guys
day.
get out? Do you guys get out? I mean, I know you guys are wrestling in Jersey. What I mean is that where you guys normally are you based out of there, or do you go pretty much wherever?
So we've wrestled
Wherever.
anywhere from Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey. I think that's all of our
Okay.
that we've done.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We've gone as far north as like upstate New York, as far west as like central PA, kind of out near like Harrisburg area, and then south we haven't gone too far south yet. It's tough because all the places down there either run like they have only a few companies and they require licenses, and it's hard to get in like to start.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean,
Well, we
we've
definitely
gone
like to get out to
almost
see
near
you guys
Boston
live and in
too.
person.
Oh, I mean,
yeah.
if we like the biggest thing for us is like if we can get a carload of people, we would do a trip out that way once. Like if it's just it's tough for us to do by ourselves,
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. If you can split
especially
the
with
cost
the
and
way
all
gas
that.
prices are right now.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
God, I can't imagine.
Yeah.
But I'd love to get out to Cincinnati, man. You know, I love
Yeah.
it out there.
We got great wrestling here and
Yeah.
great food and some great dads.
That's right.
Well,
Another
fellas, we
one
hit the
for
1
you.
hour mark.
Another
but,
one for you. The Dadliest Catch and the Mega Fathers. There you go. Take
I
those
mean,
two.
It's up to you. I have nowhere to be, so do you guys
We have to
any
do our
more
regular
questions
live
to close out?
stream starting soon.
You
as
hear
we
that?
finish
They
with
got
this.
better things to do than talk to us, I guess. That's all right. You know, it's just like our
No, I
kids.
can-
They always got to
let's
go
close it
hang
out
out with
real
their
quick, like,
friends and stuff.
It's not you, it's us. We can
How
still be
about-
friends though.
How about a quick rapid fire? Anything you guys ever wanted to know and ever wanted to ask? Throw it out real quick.
Okay. Favorite tag team?
I know
Rock and Roll
Rad
Express.
Rock and Roll Express.
You know mine.
Mine is probably either the Briscoes or the Road Warriors.
That's fair.
Favorite breakfast cereal?
Waffle Crisp.
Oreo O's.
Favorite
There you go.
non-pornographic movie to beat off to?
What?
Favorite not. What if I
Not?
Brandon?
What if I gave you the most unhinged answer of all time? Requiem for a Dream.
Let's go with that.
Seeing people's lives ruined by drug
He
use
said
really
rapid
gets me
fire,
off.
damn it. He said rapid fire.
I was gonna say
Mine was happy
because all the
feet.
pictures.
Oh God.
Something about them penguins, man. I don't know.
There's.
Oh.
This is why we're not allowed to be bad guys, because this is how my brain works really quick like that. And
I like it. See, I'm the
That's
same
why we're
thing.
not allowed on R-rated wrestling shows. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh, it is absolutely not for the kids. Put that's
Mm-mm.
Mr. Magnificent.
This is why we start our show with "Put the kids to bed."
Correct.
Yeah.
Good call.
Go to sleep, or I will put you to sleep, Grandma.
Yeah. You're my
Oh, I forgot to mention we are styling and argyling.
Oh, yeah.
styling and argyling.
I hate that there's still more on that list.
There's so many. I'm just picking out ones I randomly see when I look down.
You should just post one every day.
All right. Rapid fire, real quick. If you one tag team you could face, you probably think you'll never face, but one tag team you guys both would want to face that you haven't.
The American males.
Oh yes, the American males is such a good answer. Ooh, I'm gonna say, just because it hasn't happened yet, and I really want it to, but it might be out of reach at the moment, is the Acclaimed.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That'd be
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, we could get that.
But yeah, the American males is such any Buff Bagwell tag team that's ever existed.
At one point, Wade, I couldn't make a show, and Wade was going to team with Buff Bagwell as the Buff Daddies, and unfortunately got canceled. So
Oh.
Dang.
I'd
it was
also,
announced and everything.
I'd also love to tag against the Dancing Fools of Alex Wright and Disco Inferno, just because I'd
Oh,
love to
wow.
hit Disco Inferno for real.
You and
And we
everybody
love
else.
Alex Wright for me.
Right.
And I love Alex Wright, so I would love to wrestle
Alex
him.
Wright's the best.
Yeah.
And then
Oh, wow.
Alex Wright can turn on Disco Inferno, and then we'll just beat him to death for 10 minutes.
So, okay, real rapid question. Favorite weapon to use in a match?
Vinyl record.
Ooh, yeah, I love doing that too. Yeah,
They snap and pop, and it makes a really cool visual.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
do light bulbs.
Light bulbs suck. Don't use light
I was
bulbs.
about to say. I
Light
don't know what's
tubes
going
are
on.
light tubes break. Light bulbs are designed not to break, and they suck.
Oh.
I also had a
Right.
Christmas tree thrown at me during a match once, so I didn't use the weapon, but I would have used it.
I did. Yeah, I also got speared through a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
with the ball still on it.
You're taking
Um,
thumbtacks?
No.
No.
I'm not against it. It would just have to be a really specific match and like a really specific payoff for a match. I'm not against any of that. Like chair shots don't bother me.
As long as it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'd love to do a cage match at some point. That would be a really old school, fun way to finish a feud. At some
Right.
point.
Absolutely.
We're going to
We're
go see
open
an
to
indie
anything.
wrestling cage match this weekend, Eric and
Yep.
I.
An indie wrestling cage match?
Yes.
Mhm.
Those are always fun because you never know what you're going to get when you
Are
get
you gonna
there.
get dog kennel? What are you gonna get there? You know.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
the last one I saw, there was no top. It was literally like they went to the local place that sells fencing and bought like the
Mhm.
sample pieces that are out front. You know what I mean? They
Did-
bought like
Ugh.
8 of them, and then they ratchet strapped them all together,
Yep.
and it was
Yep.
amazing.
Were you worried sitting in the front row that it might fall on you? Because I've been there
Yes.
before.
I was worried before they even put the cage up. I was worried the ring was going to fall. So like when they put this thing on top of the ring, it
This
was
is the
like,
best shows.
this is going to be something special.
Oh,
Yeah,
my,
that
my favorite is the rare wooden cage where they use the wooden frames for the fences. Those
Yeah,
are
IWA Mid
awesome.
South used to do that.
Yeah.
Like lattice work.
Yeah, it would be like wooden frames with like fencing in between the like
Yeah.
pillars.
Like IWA
Oh.
Mid South used to do that.
Yeah.
Cornette's promotion used to do that. Smoky Mountain. There's a couple out there. They look
just-
terrifying.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds
Big Rig and I were
horrific.
watching old matches last weekend and seeing what their steel cage used to look like back in, when wrestlers had real teeth.
The old blue steel cage of the
Cage of Death was always fun every year too at CZW back in the day. Always see
Yeah.
what kind of weird contraption they would build.
hmm
Been to a few of those. It was wild.
well, yeah, I think we probably wrap it up. But thank you guys so much for coming on
This has
here. This has
been
been an absolute
hilarious.
blast.
Our pleasure.
Hilarious, informative,
Oh, man.
everything you want in a dad or stepdad.
We've barely scratched the surface. If you guys ever need us back to talk about whatever, we're around.
Oh, it's happening.
Yeah,
for
oh,
sure.
absolutely. And then
You ever-
we'll
If you ever
gladly
need some
come on
fatherly
the show.
advice, anything like
Yeah.
that, we'll just jump on real quick. Tell you what's what.
Be careful volunteering for our podcast. That's not fun.
That's right.
I promise you don't want to watch WCW Thunder with us.
I absolutely do.
Yeah,
Sign,
'cause I'm a
sign me up.
Everyone says that, and then we filmed it right before we got on with you guys, and we always end the show apologizing to our friends.
Oh,
We-
God.
Thunder
yeah,
was
I'm
we've
gonna
had-
watch an episode
we've
for a
had-
volunteer for
yeah.
anything.
I mean, we've had bookers and promoters tell us like the next day, I don't know if I should book you guys anymore, which you made me go through last night. I'm just not, I don't know. I guess the fans like you, but I'm looking at you different now.
right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you guys want to tell everybody watching where they can find you?
Oh, absolutely. As I said, we are the gods of Dad Bods, the Road Warriors, the parental guardians of the galaxy. Rad Dad, Radley, Belmont, Poppa, Bear, Wade, Kruger, the Stepdads. You can find us on every single type of social media. We got Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Patreon, all of which, I don't know, TikTok. We figured out TikTok
Etsy.
somehow. I don't know. All of which, Stepdads Wrestling, all one word. If you use a space, we are not liable for what you find on the internet. So Instagram,
don't condone
TikTok,
it.
Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Stepdads Wrestling, all one word. Wade over here has his own TikTok at Wade Kruger 1. His Twitter is Wade Kruger 1. Super easy to find.
Yeah,
Our
my Instagram.
Yeah, and our Twitter is Stepdads Wrestle because they wouldn't give us the space to have the whole Stepdads Wrestling thing. So that's the only one that's different, and it drives me nuts.
I bet.
And as I said earlier, prowrestlingtees.com/stepdads. There's actually a deal this week on, I think it's 10% off. It could be 20%. Just look it up. We got some
20.
more
It's a
t-shirts there.
20%, 72-hour sale. Yeah.
Yep. Or if you just hit
Absolutely,
us up-
and we're involved in that, so that's good.
Yeah. If you just hit us up too and want a shirt and want to support us that way, you can hit us up on Facebook or whatever, message us. We'll mail it out. It'll probably be like $26-$27 with the shipping, and probably about the
There you go.
same as it would be from Pro Wrestling Tees, but it won't feel like sandpaper.
There you go.
Right?
Well, I don't know. They're last time I looked, their shipping prices were not the most friendly. So yeah, it might be better to just go ahead and order directly from the Stepdads.
We have plenty.
Absolutely. We'll throw an 8x10 too while we're at it. Why not?
Yeah, there you
Oh,
go.
yeah.
We got
We always
stickers. We got
appreciate our
magnets.
step fans.
I want a starter kit. A stepdad starter kit.
Maybe
Hey,
when
we're
you're
ready.
older, buddy.
Here's
I'm
the
the oldest
starter
one
kit
here.
right here. This is the starter kit. You gotta get a thermostat, okay? Brand new, mint
Oh, don't-
in box, as the kids say. It's right here, okay? That's
Yeah.
the starter kit.
Wait, you can,
You better have that thing in a box with a lock on it.
Yeah, exactly.
we do. We just
You
had
were
to buy a
saying?
new lockbox.
You were saying?
All right,
We are the stepdads. We are ready.
perfect.
The reason we had to buy a new one is because the last time we brought it out to the ring with us, somebody broke it over my head.
Oh,
Still didn't suck as much as the laundry basket.
that's amazing. Though.
That's good to know. Next time a guy decides to break him, I'm just gonna freaking suplex him on the
Oh yeah, if you ever have to break into the thermostat because it's too hot, just headbutt it. I promise you'll be okay.
All right.
Gee,
Well,
Manelli.
they are the
Well,
stepdads. We
yeah.
are the Dad World Order. Big Rig, take us out.
Well, you guys are going to be seeing this a couple days after we record it, but please like, share, subscribe. Go follow these two guys right here. I don't know where I'm pointing. Stepdads. They are awesome.
You
Officially
guys are
part
awesome. Thank you all
of
so
the
much.
DWO for life. Top Dads out.
Dad,